What's up, guys? Welcome back to Daddy Knows Best. This week's intro is filmed in my hotel room in Sun Valley because I forgot to film it before I left. This week I have on my buddy Martin Amini. He's a fucking killer. He's crushing it right now. And he came on the podcast. It was a good episode, and I actually shot it quite a while back, but thought I lost the audio. Found the audio, and yeah, we're doing it. I'm in Sun Valley for this higher ground retreats where we take veterans up that are disabled and teach them how to snowboard and stuff. It's a really cool program. Check it out if you're a veteran. They pay for everything, fly you out. And I'm helping lead one of the retreats, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm back this weekend. I'm in San Diego Friday and Saturday at Madhouse Comedy Club. Then I'm at the Improv on the 21st. Oh, and before that, on the 19th, I'm at Don't Tell Oceanside. Come through. The shows are going to be sick. Like and subscribe, comment, do all the stuff. Yeah, see you guys then.
You're absolutely crushing it, bro. You're on a national tour, selling out left and right.
Thank you, bro.
Dude, how does it feel?
Tiring, bro.
Yeah.
It's but nah, I mean, you're the homie, so I mean, I'll be honest. Like, it feels great to be able to go from open mics, right?
Yeah.
That's where we met.
Yeah. You were crushing those open mics, though. I was still
To be able
hit
to
or miss at that time.
I mean, I moved here from DC, so I had some, experience back home. But the touring thing is still very new. I'm still learning a lot, but yeah, bro, it's like this is where I want it to be, and so I'm learning how to like keep it going and like enjoy it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's tough to enjoy it sometimes because it's so much like behind the scenes stuff people don't realize, like we were talking about earlier.
100%, bro. Yeah, that's the business side. I'm still adjusting to it, but like I said earlier, you caught me on a good day, so I'm glad I'm here on a good day, like
Good,
feeling
bro.
good.
Yeah. Do you want to share, or is this news you can't share?
It's more so it's regarding I'm filming a special.
Hell yeah.
November 18th at the Lincoln.
I think I saw that. You and Rife, right?
He's producing it.
Fuck yeah.
He shout out to my boy Matt Rife, who's also killing it on on another level.
Yeah, also great.
The way you
dude.
feel about me, I feel about Matt.
Yeah.
Because I'm in airports, in like Airbnbs, with my camera guy and my opener, and I'm just thinking about like how the hell does Matt handle all his stuff?
Yeah.
I used to always think about him. I still do. I'm about to go on tour with him starting in September, but
also a great dude, just like genuine, sincere.
yeah, I mean,
love to see it.
solid day one. Solid day one. People underrated in regards to just like how hard he works and just how much time he put in.
Yeah.
And I saw it up close, and yeah, man, he just I hope comics hearing this realize that like, yo, he puts in the work, bro, more than anyone else I know.
Yeah.
So he deserves everything.
I'm friends with Elton, and he just did the Ghost tour with Elton, and like, yeah, also fucking crusher, good dude, hardworking dude. I saw you have over 400,000 on TikTok, over 140,000 on IG, just popping off. Do you think that's where a lot of your sales are coming from?
100%. Yeah. I think that's where most sales come from these days for I think a lot of the traditional ways of selling tickets back don't exist anymore.
What is the like getting on radio and like
radio,
TV, Netflix?
A Jimmy Fallon's late night set, Letterman back in the day, Comedy Central. I want 30-minute specials. All these pre-COVID tools that used to be like the thing.
Yeah,
like non-existent, bro.
Maybe Netflix is still, or do you think?
Yeah, Netflix for sure. Also, shout out to Don't Tell.
Yeah, they're popping everybody off.
I don't know when this comes out, but I filmed my first 10 minutes with them this past Saturday.
Nice, dude. Congrats.
And yeah, man, it's looking like we're gonna work together on the special.
Great.
So that's that was as of yesterday. So that's kind of like the big
part of the boost.
Yeah, like all right, like I'm in good hands now.
Good
like
for
I
you,
had
bro.
to kind of work with the team that because we're doing a venue that's like 1,200 seats.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a production, like I just want to make sure that I don't have to worry about anything besides going on stage and like killing it.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure. So
have you done audiences that big before?
Yeah, I have. Fortunately, I have a few times, but this is going to obviously be the first time that it's like all me.
2 shows or 1?
3.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2
And the
regular
fact that
shows.
you've done that capacity before, I think builds the confidence. And
Yeah. Going, and then also I'm very fortunate because I'll be opening for like Matt the months leading up to it, so
Yeah.
I'll be like going in front of like 6,000-7,000 people pretty regularly.
That's so sick, dude.
And,
Congrats.
thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's there's a lot to be excited about, but it's also like, all right, man, like
Grind time.
Yeah, grind time, and like now is the time to really lock in and like, all right, like let's go through that window.
Maintain it.
Yeah, maintain it for
because
sure.
a lot of people, I made it, get comfy, stop working it, stop doing the things that put them there in the first place. Not a lot of people, but some. We see some dudes that don't maintain, and then other dudes that do, and just ride that wave, baby. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks, man.
I saw you also started 808 Room and Overachievers. 808's the DC thing. I see a lot of the posts, right?
Yeah, it's the comedy club I opened up during the pandemic.
Oh, damn.
It's been open for 2 years. Yeah, during the pandemic and lockdown,
So it's your comedy club.
Yeah, I own a comedy club. Yeah,
The one that.
Yeah.
And dude, I didn't know that was like your club.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a show you produce, like Overachievers.
No, I own it.
Man,
some people know I don't over publicize it because it's not up to me. You know, it's not really. I don't want it to be about me. It's more about that was at the time it was to create a new space during a time where all venues were being closed in DC, and I was living there because there was nothing going on in LA. I had to move back home.
Yeah.
And so I took out a SBA loan, got a PPP loan.
Oh, dude,
and
smart.
put some money into this venue and turned it into one of the top spots I think in the country now because it's like it's just designed for comedy.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of my clips have gone viral. Matt Rife has gone viral at that place.
I see tons of people on there.
A lot of hitters
Yep.
pull up and go viral off Room 808. So, you know, shout out to my team that runs it now. It's 3 comics in DC that are doing a great job. We talk every week for booking calls, and they're killing it. My team.
Fuck yeah, dude! Congrats, man.
Thank
I
you,
didn't know that was like. I thought it was. Yeah, like I said, that's sick.
Yeah, I got a lot of like you say. You know, you're hustling 3 jobs. I'm running a comedy club across the country, but fortunately, it's like it's a manageable spot, you know, and I still go there all the time to run my set and to get clips.
Smart, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the clips now. Like I'm filming I'll take my camera everywhere. I got like 3 batteries. Like it's all about the clips.
Yeah, every comedian's got to be a production company at this point.
You really do, man. Especially at like my level. I love that that you're outsourcing because there's other things to worry about, but that's just such a part that is, in my opinion, away from the art. There is some art form with the editing, but like it takes away from the actual stand-up.
Bro, it's soul sucking. Yeah, the whole thing is tedious, and for me, it's the posting that takes away all my time and energy. Yeah, and it's just like, because it's just all the I get a lot of engagement, and so I try to do my best with like commenting back and responding or engaging with the fans. But after a while, it's like, bro, I gotta take a break. I gotta get back to just performing and just relaxing and coming up with some new ideas. Yeah. But it hasn't, for the past 12 months, it's just been like, I feel like I've been posting almost every day.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's been insane.
I'm at like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's a lot. Then I also edit another comics videos, like a big comics videos for him, and so between that on the 2016 MacBook Pro, it's a lot, dude. What do you do about hateful comments? How do you deal with that?
I'm not tripping. I don't trip off.
Yeah.
It's like...
Did you used to?
Not
trip, but it affected you in some way?
You pay attention, but there's... You get to a point where you have so many people watching you and following you and looking at your shit, and if it's one, you're out of hundreds of thousands, you're like, oh, this is nothing. Yeah. It'd be weird if you don't get any weird stuff.
Pretty much all the videos that I get that do 100,000 or more will have some shitty comment on there. And worse on Facebook. Facebook dudes go crazy.
Yeah, Facebook. It's like the 90s. Yeah, you know, it's like I kind of going back to Facebook because it's raw. It's that's where all that toxic masculinity, problematic shit. I'm yo, I feel like I'm at the bus stop.
Yeah,
people throwing the F word out there, and homophobic thoughts. I'm like, oh wow. Yeah, I feel like I'm back home.
Yeah, I just read one today. This wasn't funny, dickhead. It was 15 solid comments, and then there's just hater.
And it's a 58-year-old Cleveland mom.
Yeah,
it's damn, this mom's crazy.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah, I love it.
How was it? I saw on your website that you had growing up mixed in Maryland.
Yeah.
Is that close? I'm guessing that's pretty close to DC.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
grew up.
Where I grew up, Silver Spring, it like borders DC, and it's where Dave Chappelle grew up.
Oh wow. Did you ever go to his stuff during the pandemic?
So Chappelle's comedy thing was in Ohio because I guess he lives in Ohio now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that city overall is like pretty diverse. It's pretty like just being so close to DC, you get that like city feel. Yeah, man, I mean, a lot of my material comes from just like growing up in a city environment, diverse, and it's kind of helped me tour, like connect with a lot of different types of people.
Yeah,
like a lot of people come to my shows that are not just Latino. Like we got a huge influx of like Asian people recently, and I think it's because like a lot of like clips have gone viral with Asian people, and so they kind of like fit into this category of like minorities with trauma, and I think like which is great because it just brings more flavor to the shows, and like I love like the goal. I'm hoping after like that Don't Tell set drops where like more diversity comes, like not just one people, like everyone comes. So that's really the goal.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your clips. So you do have different interactions with all kinds of people, from the police to the sign
police,
language dude.
Police love coming to my, and I think it's because one clip went viral and that like started like, I think the catalyst for more cops are like, yo, like that's my guy too. Like, they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've never been homies with cops, but they seem to enjoy talking shit. Like they enjoy the roasting stuff, and I think like I could see, and I can kind of picture that.
Yeah.
And so
it's like the military.
Yeah. And as long as they're cool, like with like what I'm doing, and like I think there's obviously a line, to be respectful, but also like this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's great,
man.
and it's cool because in normal circumstances, I would never be roasting a cop. So it's kind of like a cool situation to be in, where I can be like, all right, like let's go, like, and I think other minorities enjoy watching me roast cops. So it's fun for everyone. So I'm like, oh, this is great.
It's a win-win, bro.
Yeah, win-win for everyone.
That's cool. I saw the Ice Cream Man Dad special.
Oh, thanks, man.
That was hilarious. I remember that joke from like one of the first times I met you, and like how joke got me so much, dude.
Thank you, bro.
Getting in a fight with that.
Yeah. I might have to run it back because the special you saw, I feel like it was such a fire hour, but it just wasn't. This is back when I was like coming up and I didn't have a budget, and I just like, it wasn't recorded the best way. So I just, now with the upcoming special, I'm like, all right, this is my opportunity to like really put some stuff out, recorded like in a theater with like. Yeah.
I also feel like there's no rules now. Like you can repost jokes, you can like put it in a different special. Like as long as it's not like Netflix buying it saying, hey, you can't do this, do that. Like you can 100%. Do whatever you want.
I get frustrated when I see comics kind of like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I dropped that on iTunes or like some weird like fucking platform. I'm like, dude, only 15 people saw it, bro. What is it? Where is this code? But usually there's old school guys like been in the game 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in it 10 plus years, but I'm like, bro, like,
damn, have you really?
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, no one's seen this shit. Like,
yeah,
why would you not do it again?
Of course.
In this capacity, like where like hundreds of thousands are in. I have a feeling millions are going to see my shit. So it's like, yeah, dude, of course I'm going to do my best stuff
that's so polished.
That way when
perfect.
It's like retired, it's like, all right, it lives like forever in this way.
Yeah.
Not in, you saw it was cool, but it's like.
Now it's probably just bah, 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 bah.
But it's just like, nah, you just want it recorded in like 4K with good audio.
Okay. So less of like the jokes developed, more of like the production quality.
Yes.
Okay.
That way you can really retire it.
Yeah.
I just feel like, because you could watch it on a TV and not be like, oh, this is terrible audio.
Yeah.
Like on a phone maybe, but like, yeah, I think you want shit to live, like, so you could like hunt, like in 50 years, like my grandkids can watch it and be like, oh, it's like fucking fire,
That's dope. That's a good idea. How did you get into stand-up?
I have a older cousin. His name is Max Amini. And
I know Max.
When I moved to LA in 2010, me and him, we reconnected after not seeing each other for a while, and I ended up hanging out with him at the Laugh Factory a lot. And one day he was like, "Yo, bro, you're with me. We're hanging out a lot every day. Like maybe like if you get a camera, you can go on tour together." And so I just bought this camera, and some lavalier mics, and yeah, we went on tour, and like we went on this world tour. We went to like Dubai, Australia. We went to fucking London, and I just remember just watching him do comedy in like around the world in these theaters as he was blowing up, and I got inspired, man. I was like, damn, man, like my cousin's like killing it right now, and I didn't even know comedy could be like a real job.
Yeah,
because I'm from Maryland. It's like, you know, I wasn't really around the entertainment business, so I was like, yo, I'm funny. And so I kind of like got that idea, and I moved back to DC in 2012 and did my first open mic, and yeah, the rest is history.
Damn, dude. And that gave you a huge leg up on producing and like editing probably, and like at least
I think just being around my cousin, but also just like my background, I think just being half Persian.
Yeah.
Just that business like hustle, like legit,
ethic.
like just like work ethic, and not being like other comics. Open, like, when I say other comics, open mic comics of like, especially back then, it was just very like purist.
Yeah.
Like we're artists, and we don't do, like, I remember being made fun of my first month in comedy because I had a flyer with my face on it.
Really?
And they were like kind of bullying me. Like, yo, who's this guy who just started who has a flyer with his face on it?
Oh, bro.
And then like, I mean, but then like my shows were packed. Like when
Yeah.
because I had like, I was always really good at, I was always popular in my hometown.
Yeah.
So like from the first month I started, all my shows were packed. So like all the comics who like were making fun of me then wanted like, yo, I want to be on this show.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of won people over like that. Similar to you, like, you know,
That's
producing,
how my
right?
yeah,
yeah,
well,
like, you know,
my first show, we sold out the Comedy Store, original room, 7 p.m. I got 51 people out. It was my first show, and it was Vargas, who's great if he was just starting out and doing bringers, and he would pay you $5 a person if you got 10 or more. So I made $255.
Right.
I fucking crushed, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm the next Chappelle.
Right.
And then I fucking bombed for like a year and a half, 2 years straight with those same jokes. It was like just a magical night of, and I mean, still use those jokes, but something about that night, I don't know what it was that just.
Yeah, dude, that's usually the storyline for a lot of comics their first time. Like when it goes well, like, it kind of just gives them enough of a boost to like weather the next year or two. Because you're hanging on to that moment that you had.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man, you're just chasing that high.
It's possible.
You're just chasing that high. I mean, it feels like a lot of us are just chasing that same high we felt that first time.
Yeah, dude. And you feel it again. There's no better feeling than just up there, fucking in the pocket, just crushing, man.
Yeah, of course, man. It's the best feeling. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, man. Okay, here's one of my favorite parts of the podcast, the Douchebag Daily Double.
Okay.
So on the Douchebag Daily Double, we talk about, you say the douchiest thing you've ever done, and also the douchiest thing that's ever happened to you, whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Me, what capacity of me? What's a good example of that? What's an example that you used before?
That I used before?
Yeah. Or like an original.
I can use a new one. Yeah. One of the douchiest moments that happened to me is when I went to boot camp. I had a girlfriend, and I had taken her virginity before, and like, but I had also cheated on her. It wasn't like the most healthy relationship. And she stopped writing me in boot camp, and she was supposed to come to my graduation, and she didn't. Yeah. So like, I was just like crying in my bunk bed after, you know, when the lights went out, like, you know, so that was one of the douchiest things. Flip it. One of the douche. I have so many, man, because I used to be such a D-bag, unfortunately. But another time, like my buddy, he like one of the only people I'm still friends with in grade school, like he would like get my girl to cheat on me with him, and then like I would do it back with another one of his girls, and like it just
that sounds terrible.
It was so terrible. I had so much trust issues.
Jesus, yeah, mine are nothing compared to. Like, I don't think I have anything like that.
Well, good, bro. That means you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think like, and I was like thinking of this was like, I was having this thought the other night, like last night actually, of how like being a good dude is like so not glamorous at all.
No,
it's so like, because like being a fuckboy is so much more fun and exhilarating.
Yep.
Like, to be a good guy, you get like, I mean, granted, like my fiance's hot as fuck. Like, she's great. My family loves me. But like everything else is pretty chill. Like I don't have. There's no like crazy excitement. Like everything's pretty. But I designed it like I don't want my life to be.
Yeah, you don't want those
chaos,
roller
like,
coasters,
ups and downs. Yeah.
man.
Of what the fuck boy attracts, right?
Or
because
just,
it's a very like up and down, like highs and lows of a fuckboy lifestyle.
And that's just one aspect. Like I had poor values in all areas, and I've adjusted that tremendously. And like, I mean, I have a master's in psychology. I've read like every self-improvement book you can think of. Like I read my values every morning of who I want to be. And like, and I think, it's not this glamorous or roller coaster, but like, it's so much more fulfilling. And like over time, I would argue it's the reason why you're getting the success, like karma or whatever you believe in.
Yeah.
Like it's
the real success. I mean, I would say it's the real success, not necessarily ticket sales. It's more about who you are as a person, and how people look at you and respect you. For. I mean, douchey thing. I mean, some of the quotes. This is something that happened today. A guy hit me up and asked me to do like, I guess his birthday party in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then my agent was like, I think the offer was like $3,500, and I was like, I don't think I'll do it unless it's like $10,000.
Yeah,
because it's only, and the only reason I said that number is because I just don't want to do it. So I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, like what's a number that I will go and be uncomfortable in someone's backyard and perform at a birthday party? And I'm like, $10,000 is worth my dignity at this point in my life. You know what I mean? At this stage, I do it for 10.
I do it for 35. If he doesn't say yes to 10, toss it over.
Same thing with same situation with I got an email from a guy. He's the graduating class of Harvard Business School this year.
That's it.
And they wanted me to come and perform at their
college.
It's the after party, but it's the graduating class of the business school.
You know they got money, so
same thing. I was like, what would it? And I'm like, in my mind, the way I'm reading it, I'm like, okay.
Be careful with the 10K because they'll drop that. Those Harvard kids will drop that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would do it. I mean, and I wouldn't feel bad. And I'm sure what they want is for me to go there and make fun of them.
Yeah.
Because they see my clip. And that's all that's all I have out there, really.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, for me to go and make fun of them and do all this, like go out, take time out of my schedule to fly to that area, the Boston area, I'm like, I'd do it for 10. Like, again, I think 10's the number. So I think that's pretty douchey on my part.
I like I don't think it is, but I like that you believe it is. And that is your...
well, because it takes away from my peace, right? Like, it's like what, and
you're doing some... Like, you don't need that. So it's a fair number, in my opinion.
The way I explain it to the people listening, it's like... take me away from my tour and my time, but also to be in a situation where it's non-traditional comedy. Yeah. Non-traditional meaning there's probably not going to be a stage or a spotlight. Yeah. Maybe the chairs aren't set up the right way. I don't have complete creative control over how we do the event. Right.
Or who films it on their phone.
It's exactly. So for me to be in that situation, that's the price that I would be willing to accept. All right, cool.
Yeah. I think that's fair, man. I think that's smart, and I'm sure some of them will take you up on it.
Yeah, hopefully soon. We'll see.
And then what's the douchiest thing, one of the douchiest things that's ever happened to you?
There's a lot of... I'm trying to pick wisely because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. Because I feel like in entertainment, it just happens so... You almost are like... You become numb to it. Yeah. You're like, I don't even because that's the thing. Like, as soon as it happens, I try to let it go.
You got double the years on me, so I can only imagine, man.
Yeah, bro. I try to let it ride right off me, and
you can omit their names.
Yeah, but it's very specific. It's almost like so. It's like because it's like, it's like
they'll know, but no one else will.
It's not hard to figure out who it is.
And then it affects the diplomacy.
It's just like, let's just say I got offered a very my own show at a very prestigious comedy festival. Sick. And then the offer got rescinded. Oh. And there's nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so
just for a disagreement or
what? We don't
whatever.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't know.
for the purpose of the story, or we really don't know? They just got rescinded.
They said I was going to be in that city too close to the date, but that was already discussed prior to the offer.
Oh.
So it's almost like, all right, like why are you now?
They're just
You're walking something back.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't. Rescinding an offer is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's like once an offer is made,
Right.
to rescind it, it's like a
you'll never do that. You'll
whatever,
never work with
it's
that
like,
organization
it's
again.
not a good look
Right.
for all parties involved.
Right.
And so, but that's such a very common.
Right. But it goes against your values and my values. And my word is everything, bro. If I say I'm going to.
Especially at that level, you would think at that level, at that one of the top festivals in the country,
Yeah.
you would be a little bit more of your word. But
Right.
again,
It's happened before and it'll happen
yeah,
again.
it'll happen again. And you just kind of like, all right, like, I got other stuff going on. It's
Yeah.
fine. Just keep, just remember, how to navigate that person or situation again.
Yeah. What do you like? How do you deal with it? Because like I have a
I
shit
don't-
list per se, but
Nah.
I've forgiven, but like I still remember that these people have done these things.
One
you know?
advice I'd give to like young comics coming up is like learn how to not take things personally.
Yeah.
And because,
Which is also one of my values from
It's
the
all-
four
it's-
agreements.
End of the day, it's all business, and if someone could be beneficial to you in the future, possibly,
Don't
why
burn the
burn a
bridge.
bridge?
Yeah.
But also just don't let it mess up your principles or
Values.
your values.
Yeah.
So these are things to navigate as you grow and ascend. People are going to try to throw rocks, but eventually those people throwing rocks are like, well, it's probably more beneficial to try and make money off this guy than throw rocks. So let me just try to
Yeah.
And so it's like these are things I'm learning in real time.
Yeah.
And
Keeping your diplomacy even after being
yeah,
wronged
you
on.
can't. Yeah, bro, you can't take things personal, which is so hard because comedians we're the most sensitive, and this is the most personal business you could think of.
Yeah, man. It's our
And,
whole
yeah, bro.
everything. We're just putting ourselves out there.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And we're very emotional, and it feels like these days we're the ones driving the fucking ship with like because we're posting all the clips.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of frustration right now of like what is everyone else doing?
Yeah.
We're selling tickets and we're performing.
Yeah. Why do I even need to give this guy 10%? Like, what is he bringing to the table?
Yeah, I mean,
Or not that guy. But,
yeah,
you
no,
know.
I just think I just think the business in itself is changing fast, and I think the industry is trying to catch up with like the changes because
Yeah, they don't like it.
they don't like it.
Some
but
of the gatekeepers.
yeah, the artist has way more control, but as a result, our mental health is like really withering.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know too many happy comedians right now.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, no.
Huh. And what do you think it is? Just all these things just coming at you, and it's finally just chipping away slowly.
Yeah, I think it's the nature of the business right now it's very social media driven.
Yeah.
And it's hard to walk away from it because
Yeah.
it's
Literally addicting.
And like it's literally addicting. It dictates a lot of our business.
Yeah. Trajectory.
And also, if you just decide to go kind of like dark, there's someone else ready to take your spot, like that's younger,
Yeah.
ready to like who's talented, that's ready to like move in and like
Yeah.
take your spot. So it's you got to keep it going.
Yeah, and I'd imagine taking a break also affects like your momentum on the algorithm and all that stuff.
It's not an easy. There's no real solution, but you just got to find that balance that works for you, where you don't get burnt out.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm huge on mental health. Like I said, I got a master's in psychology. Like, ultimately I wanted to learn where I messed up or like why I was the way I was.
Right.
And I did. I learned a lot, and I also read all those self-improvement books, and have gone to tons of therapy, and I do a lot from what I'm getting at is I do a lot for my mental health, and I want to see like what are some of the things that you do to try to maintain a equilibrium of sorts.
I got a dope ass fiance that keeps me grounded. We go for walks. We go out to eat. We go get sushi. We just take it easy, man.
Yeah.
We take it easy. We try to enjoy what we
Quality
have.
time. Yeah.
And that's a very nice break from the business and
Oh yeah.
and we're even working harder on just possibly like, you know, moving to the East Coast again and getting away from LA for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of
Congrats on the engagement too.
Thank you, man.
I think we were talking about it before everything started rolling. But
Yeah. So, you know, just knowing when to like, you know, take breaks, go get out of town, reset. And not get too caught up in the hamster wheel.
How do you know when it's time? Like when you're just like, it's just been enough, and that's when you're like, okay, it's time to step back.
Yeah, I think when your spirit is low,
Yeah,
and your soul is like on empty, and you gotta refill it.
Yeah,
that's when.
Yeah, man. I'm the same, dude. My girl is like my rock, and like makes me so much better as a person, and like believes in me in ways that like sometimes I don't even believe in myself, and like taught me how to edit my videos. And like she edited my first stand-up clip, and I was doing these sketches that weren't really feeding my soul, but like I was just trying to keep something going during the pandemic because like we couldn't do shows. And then she like edited one of my Kill Tony clips, and it got like over 50,000, like the most I've ever gotten at that time. And I was like, it was, you know, I think God or the universe, whatever you believe in, sends you these this feedback if you're on the right path, and the opposite if you're not. Like the values I got was from like, you know, God or the universe, like this is like getting those consequences, you know. Dude. So I get the rule, and so I was just like, she has been so instrumental for my mental health, and just like dating in LA is awful. I don't know if you guys were together when you first moved here.
I met her my first week.
Oh, you're so lucky, bro. That
was a sign, yeah.
Oh, trash city to date in, man. Just 'cause there's a lot of good people, but there's a lot of people here in general, so there's a lot more bad to weave through, and like, you know how it is, man.
Yep.
Cool. So it doesn't seem like you were ever really a douchebag. You've always seemed to have like pretty solid values.
Yes, because you know, I used to sell large amounts of weed, and so I think like a lot of my values come from that.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
Really?
Because I think
I was guessing parents that you're like, no, I used to sell a bunch of weed.
No, because if you think about it, like, that's how I kind of kept my business running. I never, you know, no one's ever tried to do like crazy stuff to me because I always conducted myself at the high. Because once you get past a certain level, you're now dealing with like people would try to kill you. Yeah. You know, for certain, like once you're dealing with certain amounts of money. You got to that level? Yeah. And so I think like when you're dealing with a large amount of money, you have to have high value system because people around you are trying to like kill you. So I think
that's like such a juxtaposition, dude. The drug dealer with good values.
Well, if you think, I mean, in any business that deals with like large, like, you know, 6 figures and up, I think you got to have high values. Yeah. So.
Damn, dude, how did you translate? Like, was there something? Did you get in trouble, or were you just like?
No, I just went on tour with Max, and then that was was my sign to get out.
Hell yeah, man, good for you. Johnny talks about that, Johnny Mitchell, and he actually went to prison for it, and like, yeah, crazy. What about drugs? Like, besides that, did you have any experience with drugs?
Yeah, I'm a big mushroom guy.
Yeah, me too, man.
But I've been traveling a lot and touring, and I got bronchitis not like a couple weeks ago. I feel like my lungs are still. I had to cut back on weed and shrooms and everything, and kind of sober up and drink more water. And so
good, bro. You do anything for health wise? You stay active?
Yeah, I got a trainer.
Good.
Comes to my place. I got to, you know, constantly got to keep doing more. Yeah. But like, yeah, I think it's a part of the system, right? Like you got to create a system that enables you to keep going.
Yeah, good habits, bro.
Yeah, good habits.
It's habit stacking.
100%. But yeah, man, I love weed and shrooms, and I love you know, mixing it up with like the lifestyle, but yeah.
Have you ever taken a god dose of shrooms? Like a
3.5 and up?
Yeah.
Once or twice.
Did your ego dissolve and have like a spiritual experience?
Yeah, I think during the pandemic is when I started. I did actually a headlining set on
no, you didn't.
And
really?
It's a documentary on YouTube called Martin Amini on Shrooms.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's fucking. I think is the most brilliant piece of work I've ever put out because I'm tripping balls on stage for an hour. I did 2 shows. And
how much did you have before? A couple grams?
Yeah, I'd say a couple. It was enough. Yeah, it's enough to trip. Yeah, it was enough to trip. And I was looking back on it. I was so lucky that I had the right people around me in the green room, like the right openers. Oh yeah. Like I had one of my best friends at the time who, unfortunately, you know, he quit comedy. Oh yeah.
For sure. Like never coming back.
I got to talk to him. You know. He moved to Africa with his wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's Jewish, which is weird.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah. I think a lot of people after post-COVID had to make a lot of dramatic, like
We lost a lot of comics, both ways, metaphorically and literally, like crazy.
Yeah. And so I had to
did
write.
you do material, or did you just
Funny,
riff?
I tried to do material. Like I tried to treat it like a regular set.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes in, I just stopped. I was like, I put my head down. I stopped. And it was like maybe like a 5-second line. And I go, guys, I'm on fucking shrooms. And like the thing is, and the place goes crazy. But they knew that because I promoted it like that.
Yeah.
And this is during I'm talking the height of lockdown. This is Virginia, so it's like it's like Texas at that point, right?
Not super friendly to shrooms.
So it's like, yes, but it was also pretty packed.
Yeah.
100 people in a 300 room Arlington Draft House.
Okay.
And you could hear wow, like and so I was like, all right, that's a sign. Like go with that.
Yeah.
Go with that energy. And so I just leaned into it and like, dude, I just went into this whole like monologue about like stop listening to rap music, listen to jazz, open your mind. Like you'll see it in the like I'm yelling at them and they're like cheering. At one point the mic goes out and now I just like treating it like a town hall and like I'm just riffing. It was insane.
That's cool.
But it was really cool because then I think I changed as a comic that night. Like I think that's where a lot of my crowd work comes from. I was always pretty good at crowd work, but not to like say I'm one of the best, but I just feel like
you are one of the better dudes coming up with crowd work, bro.
I think what separates me from everyone else or from a lot of people is I'm able to be present, but I'm able to connect on a higher frequency and just go with the energy in the room. And I think I got that from mushrooms or that night, like that night of doing 2 grams and just going off going completely. There's no rope. Now you're just like in the abyss, but you're trusting God at that point. Yeah. Just like you're fucking floating. But like, height of the pandemic, I lose everything. Back's against the wall. I'm fucking survival mode. Yeah. I'm pushing it's like training with weights on. Yeah. And I was, you met me before pandemic where I was like, you had a good, dude, I was on I had just dropped Son of an Ice Cream Man. I was like, bro, I was on the wave. Yep. And when that shit happened to all of us, of course, it's like took the wind. I don't think listeners really understand like the trauma that's involved, and I think we haven't all we all deal with it in different ways. And I think probably you starting this podcast and doing all the buying lights and cameras and is a result of just like channeling energy and putting it into something positive, but. Most people don't have the willpower to do all this stuff after going through that crazy experience of losing everything. Yeah, and just the willpower of grinding every day, man. And a lot of days you don't get the wins. It's people don't understand what it takes to like be successful. And I have so much respect for anybody that has like decent level to the highest level of success. It's just like the sacrifices that person had to make to get there. It's just. Bro, I don't do my life revolves around my girlfriend, jiu-jitsu, and comedy, and like those few part-time gigs, and like a very small core group of friends that have the good values. Like, I'm so selective with my time these days. I'm also older, like I'm in my 30s. So I think once you hit your 30s, you're not really hanging out like you were, like you were in your 20s. Yeah, dude. I feel that, bro.
Also. I wanted to add like that kind of makes me think because like I've only done comedy drinking like twice. My very first time and then like another time was random in Oklahoma before a band was gonna go on. I had just crushed it one of my first like big shows at the Last Factory and like confident and my buddies were like, dude, let's see if they'll let you go. I got up there and bombed in front of like all these Oklahoma families that were not expecting comedy at all. But I've never done a set high. I've never done a set on shrooms. So maybe I need to stop being like so rigid. Like I got to do this way, that way.
Yeah. I think when it comes to specifically shrooms, it's more of like a headspace and like how you're in tune with yourself. And it allows you to like, for the first time for me, at least when I started experimenting with it during the pandemic, kind of reconnect with myself and like I could process a lot of my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and which is great for stand up because now you're able to like hone in on how you feel. And I think when you know how you feel about something, it's easier to communicate
Yeah.
on stage. And then when you hone in on it and you communicate it, then and you lean into it, it's almost like the crowd is now more in tune with what you're saying, and it's like a higher level of communication.
Yeah.
Because of now you know specifically what you're trying to, what energy, like
Which way to go?
yeah, which way to go. And like,
yeah.
you know, that night when I was on shrooms, they were on shrooms because I marketed it as a shroom show
Yeah.
on my stories, not publicly. And so they were tripping.
Yeah.
And so like when I was yelling, they were all listening.
That's cool.
I wasn't, yeah. And we were all on the same,
like wavelength.
yeah. And it was like, it was a very unique moment because we were all going through the same pandemic feeling of
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But like in that fucking hour and 10 minutes, they were just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's sick. I like what you said about being present too. Not only is that like something I apply, I meditate twice a day, like I apply that in my regular life, but like it's so key for crowd work. Like
Just headlining or just being on stage. I
Yeah.
think not limiting yourself again. And it's like, that's one label I'm working very hard to shake as being a crowd work comic, but I understand why, because that's what I put out. But,
and
people,
I wasn't saying
no,
you're
no,
a
no.
crowd. I've seen your bits.
Just for the listeners, like, you know, it's one thing to be to perform 10, 15 minutes on stage, but when you start touring and you're expected to do an hour, becoming a headliner is a different gear. Like, it's a different muscle to do an hour in Cleveland, Ohio for like 50 people, you know, or do an hour, you know. It's one thing when it's sold out, but when it's like, you know, the crowd, the turnout's light and you're not like,
yeah,
it's not packed and you got to turn that gear on.
Yeah.
You have to be present. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a crowd work thing. I just think it's a comedy thing.
You're
like,
right.
Learning how to be
Yeah, I misspoke about that.
No. It's all good, bro.
It is like key. And in fact, when my bits are doing, like even the bits, like if I'm present, engaged, like emotionally attached to what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like you're telling it
Emotionally
for
attached.
the first time.
Yeah, bro. If you're emotionally attached, that's what I think drives the joke.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has different styles, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I'm at my best, is when I'm in touch with the feeling and when I'm delivering it with the emotions that is connected to the joke. When I wrote it, that's when it's going to hit the hardest.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, it happens when you're present. And yeah, man, that headlining, I've only done a couple like headlining spots, so like
it's a different muscle.
Yeah.
It's a different muscle. It's a different gear. It's what I learned how to do the past 12 months. I wish, this year I could have wrote more, but I definitely learned how to, headline. And but going back to the East Coast in but next month, for a little bit, just to kind of reset and to get back to writing and doing spots again.
good, man.
Because LA is a very, as you know, a tough town to do spots. And
Yeah.
so it's a big part of my identity.
Yeah.
Going up, and I tour enough where it's not about state. It's about, I just need to be in front of people who don't know me
Yeah.
and practice. Performing for fans, it's dope, but it's not the experience you want sometimes, because you want to be able to experiment and write new stuff.
And they're on your side a lot.
They're
of
on my
time.
side,
Yeah.
and I attract a very Latino audience right now,
Yeah.
which is cool. But sometimes, some of the subject matter is not. It's not that the Latinos don't get it. It's just I want to be able to grow a bit in front of everyone,
Yeah.
and not just a certain type of people.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, how would you? Because I started out here. Like, how would you recommend? And I want to get like I'm traveling to San Diego like once a month.
I was just about to say San Diego.
Yeah, is that so? Yeah, just looking for like maybe Arizona, like spots that are in the immediate where I can go up for strangers. You think at this point in my career?
Yeah, I think San Diego's a great town.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's a great resource, and I think more comics should try.
You're doing. I saw you're doing Mic Drop this weekend.
Yep.
And I'm doing like 7 shows down there. The 7th show is a brunch show at Mic Drop. The next day, some 50 Shades of Grey
Hell yeah.
brunch thing that I got to write some
Cool, man.
shit for. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I saw already low ticket warning on your website.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Yeah, man. I'm very fortunate that I'm getting to a place where it's never going to be that bad.
good,
with the
bro.
exception of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, didn't do well in Kentucky. You know, but
That's funny.
yeah, every other market.
You'll go back though still?
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
think
Just
yeah.
an off show.
Yeah, and you know, you learn also like what cities you want to hit and how you want to manage your time and what do you want to prioritize and all these are all things I'm trying not to beat myself up about, but you have to learn quick, man, because sometimes you do wake up in Kentucky like, what the fuck am I doing here? Nothing against Kentucky is like, but there's not enough Latinos or minorities in Kentucky,
right?
For me to be like, all right, this is like gonna be like
You got
a Martin show,
all your white material,
which is fine. It's just or like just focus on cities that you just want to like. I want to do. I'm doing London this year.
I saw that.
We're gonna do. I canceled my Toronto and Montreal because September 8th and 9th because I'm opening for Matt Rife in Vegas
for
his
dude.
birthday. So
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, so I'll be doing Canada next year instead, and
worth it to pivot, especially with the special coming up. In my opinion, like
yeah, man,
it's a smart move.
A lot of pivots, a lot of making adjustments, and yeah, bro, you caught me like right in the middle of like all of it.
I'm glad, dude.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got you on. Violence.
Okay.
Like, do you have
history?
Yeah, or like do you do martial arts or like being a drug dealer? I'm sure you got into some sticky situations.
I watched my father physically fight people.
Yeah, it's in one of your bits. Another ice cream man, right?
And my older brother kind of took has that in him. I never. I was always more reserved and more. I don't have it. I don't enjoy hitting people, man.
Right.
I don't.
I don't either.
I feel like some people have it in them.
Yeah.
Where they can hit someone and like not feel bad.
Lack of empathy.
Yeah, lack of empathy. Whereas I feel like I'm just like I'm an empath, bro. Like I feel everything.
Same, dude.
And so like I remember like hitting my first punching my first person and just as I'm throwing the first punch, I remember not following through all the way because I didn't want to hurt. I didn't like the way it felt. Like I just didn't. It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And ever since that moment, this is like when I was 12 years old, I was like, but it's also important to know who you are.
Yeah.
Because not to get mistaken with not defending yourself. That's that's a totally different story, right? But we live in a crazy time. Crime's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm starting to think about getting a gun.
Yeah, I have a gun.
Yeah, and I think like, especially now I'm like, engaged. I think you guys just like, about to get some property.
All right, so I think I saw one of your bits talking about getting a gun too.
Yeah.
So crazy we got to bleep out the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had Tony on, and because I'm also reading White Fragility, recommended from one of my good buddies, and I told him like I even did some of the stuff in that book. Like I moved to this neighborhood and I got a gun. He goes, man, if I lived in this neighborhood, I'd have a gun too. You live in the hood, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough balance, right? Because you don't want to walk with fear, but
right.
you also
want to be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared.
Protect you and your loved ones.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance.
Yeah, bro. I used to get picked on in grade school, so like, and then until I started wrestling for school, and then that kind of gave me like a base, and now I'm like obsessed with martial arts. Like I'm doing a jiu-jitsu competition, but like I'm a lover, not a fighter. Like I like it in the realm of the competition, but there's still no striking. It's like muscle, joint manipulation, but like. I don't you really have to have my back against the wall and like for me to defend myself.
I think same thing with me too. I think I think defending yourself is a totally different thing than just trying to engage, and I'm constantly trying to de-escalate things.
Absolutely.
And but unfortunately there's a lot of mentally ill people out there, a lot of people who are emotional, who aren't centered, and those are the people you got to sometimes worry about because they're not operating at a higher frequency.
Right.
They're on some low, especially when you start becoming successful.
Yeah. People
don't realize, man, you kind of become a target.
Really.
And people kind of look at you more as almost like an asset. Like
that sucks.
It does suck because you don't think of it, while you're posting clips, but the more followers you have, the more people kind of look at you like, oh, man, what can I get off this guy? Or, you know, how can I capitalize off of this person? And so, yeah, navigating all these things.
Friendships become less genuine then.
Or strangers who try to extort you. You know? So,
yeah. Well, I think hopefully you've been in the game long enough to where you can. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I can like catch it earlier than I used to from being burnt so many times living here.
Yeah, man. No, I recently had to hire security in room 808.
Really?
Yeah. Just only because like
smart.
I do a lot of meeting, like, you know, pictures after the shows.
Yeah.
And
check
people
them for
get
weapons.
People get drunk. People want to touch, like, people are like, yeah, dude, people are wild, man. People are wild. Like, people, there's not, you know, cocaine's a hell of a drug, and people get wild.
Yeah.
Especially, like, just, again, like, people having access to you, I think, is like, you got to have some type of barrier.
Smart.
And that's, you know, I don't
That's
know
cool
if that's considered.
You're at that level, though.
It's
bittersweet.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like, fuck. That's where I'm at. Like, where I have to have someone, like, just supervising me taking pictures with people.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Well, if you ever want to come train in my jiu-jitsu gym,
yeah, bro.
Sounds like you have a good foundation already, but like it's just really good for health, mental health. Like that's another reason I love it. Like you're on the mats, like you're not thinking about the posts you got to do. You're just thinking about surviving with your buddy, you know? And it's the gym I'm at is such a good culture to where like they're not cranking on your shit trying to hurt you. It's like a very supportive, like dope environment. And
that's
like,
great.
I love it, bro.
I'm glad you got that going for you.
Me too. Thank you. I have on here mortality. Like, what do you mentioned God, so you believe in,
are
you Catholic or Christian?
I was brought up Catholic. I thought about this recently. I stopped becoming Catholic because we didn't have a ride to church. And,
you weren't taking the ice cream truck.
12 years old, I think, is when we stopped going to church. And then, but I was, you know, baptized, communion. But I'm more of a spiritual person, which is a very LA thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
But mortality, man. Yeah, I'm leaning more into just. That's why I think it's important to be, a good person, like, and not just like when you're gone, like how you're remembered, but like. What happens to you when you're gone? I don't know. It's not necessarily about a heaven or hell thing. It's more so about like having some meaning in your life.
Yeah.
I think like that to me is probably way more impactful and powerful than like numbers.
Yeah.
Clips is more so like I contributed to like my community.
Yeah. I love that, dude.
Like
of true purpose.
Yeah. Like I was like a pillar, like room 808. Like, creating that from my jokes.
Yeah, people needed that, man. You probably got so many messages where people are like,
yeah, we do
sorry,
shows Wednesday through Saturday, and it's like now it's a big part of the community in Washington, D.C., and touring, from some of the jokes I write to some of the subject matter and the impact it has on the community of people who come to see me. It makes me feel like my life has more meaning, and when I'm gone, I think I kind of did my job. Yeah. So I think I have a lot of peace. Yeah. With like whatever happens.
Purpose driven.
Yeah. It's not like I want to die, but if I do,
right.
I feel like
we're all going to die at some
point. I feel
point.
like I kind of did my job.
Yeah.
I did what I was supposed to do.
I like that, dude. Also, what reminded me of one of my favorite books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh, yeah. I know that book.
Do you?
I read it, yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts is when he has you visualize the funeral, and he goes, and then people are saying stuff, and you go look in the casket, and it's you. And what are they saying? And that's the, begin with the end in mind and work your life backwards. And I read my values that I want to live by every day from that. That book was one of the most powerful books I've ever read.
Yeah.
Did you you liked it too?
Yeah, I loved it. I think I got a lot of positive takeaways from that.
Do you read a lot of books like that, or just here and there you've read a few?
That was the one that stuck out. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. I also
I think that was the one where you have to do something when you wake up. Is that the one where you have to do 5 things or 6 things? Or is that the Dale Carnegie one?
I don't know which. I love the Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
But it's like there's something about you have to do like 7 like to build a habit, you gotta do it like when you wake up, you have to do like 4 or 5 things to get your your whole
like
day.
habit stacking.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's Atomic Habits. Or
Yeah,
I learned that from Atomic
I
Habits.
thought it was that Stephen Covey book, but maybe not.
Maybe it's Be Proactive. Probably it's a dense book. I've only read it once, and I'll reread it again. But I also the Atomic Habits I read this year, and that was my productivity, which was already at a very good level, in my opinion, has boosted and skyrocketed.
Hell yeah, bro.
Cool, man. What do you think about like visualizing, praying, manifesting, whatever? I think it's all the same stuff.
I think
it's very cliche because
no,
it's LA,
I think
but
there's some people who do vision boards. My process or my take on it is what energy you put out, you get back.
Yeah.
So I'm big on like
karma,
but more so like even when times are tough, finding ways to be grateful. Because I do find myself sometimes, even on my bad days, I'll have bad days and I'll complain or I'll be like down. But I think it's your responsibility to pick yourself back up. I don't think it's safe to wallow in that energy. Like last week, I was having a really tough day. I hit a real low point last week, so I had to make a couple phone calls to some homies because once I identified how I was feeling, I was like, this is not safe. Like I gotta get out of this little mindset.
Headspace, yeah.
So I called 2 homies, and after that, I felt I like got out of that little hole, and then slowly but surely, kind of climbed out of it through doing exercise, just doing my daily habits.
Yeah.
But you have to identify those moments and like really work at it. It's not a.
That's cool. You have good friends that can help pull you out of that space too.
Yeah, just solid dude. We're not super. It was just more so people I respect. I think I get a lot of stuff from people I respect, and people I respect aren't necessarily like the most successful. They're more high character.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I look for now in role models and people I want to
surround yourself. Yeah.
More high character than results driven.
Yeah.
Because I think results can sometimes be skewed by like, you'd be coked out of your fucking mind and get a lot of results.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you're a good person.
Right. Yeah, no, good person's number one. I would argue that like ambition is also a character thing, but like lack of ambition isn't enough for me to completely exclude somebody from my life.
No. There's levels. Yeah, there's levels too.
But like closest circle, I need ambition to, unfortunately, which I've been like I mean, of course there's family and there's different and they have they're doing their best with the means that they have, and like the sacrifices they made are why we can do what we can do, so there's levels to it, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I get it, bro.
Cool, man. What would you say your biggest values are?
Being honest, also being transparent, and just learn how to communicate with the ones you're closest with, and just even people you're not close with, but just that way. Sometimes I think like not being able to communicate is like the root of a lot of different problems.
Yeah, we're not taught how to communicate, man. Yeah. Have you ever read a book called Nonviolent Communication?
Mm-mm.
One of the best books I've ever read on communication. Changed how I interact with my family, everyone. Ultimately, it says like people's complaints, what they're complaining about is really an unmet need. They just don't know how to communicate it. They'll be like, so if like somebody in your life's like, you're always on your fucking phone, blah, blah, blah. They're saying they want more quality time with you. And it kind of taught me how to like decipher these complaints and also phrase my stuff and like how I'm feeling. Seek first to understand, then be understood, which is also in the 7 habits. But like people aren't even going to listen to you until you understand where they're coming from. So that mixed with this 4-step thing that the book went over, like boosted my communication, man.
Hell yeah.
If you're looking for a read, it's really thin and a good one. Last thing I have on here, bro, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, man, if you want to follow me on social media, my handle is Martin Amini. TikTok is the Martin Amini, and I'm on tour, man.
Cool, man. Thanks for joining the pod, bro. Of course, appreciate it.